Holy packs. Okay. I know I'm cleaning out, in the last few videos I showed you, I'm cleaning out some things in my basement, trying to make room for stuff. But I did see this on Facebook Marketplace and figured, what the hell, I'll come take a gamble on this one. They were selling it for 30, offered them 20, probably paid too much for it. But it is a small bin of cards, mostly, as you can see, junk wax thrown in there, probably a lot of damaged cards, nothing fun. But the main reason I went after it was it had this half a box, or maybe 3/4 of a box, full of sealed 92 baseball. I don't know what you want to call these. These are cello packs, right? 15 cards. You get a gold card in each one. So I think they said there was 26, and there's supposed to be, what, 32 or something out of the whole pack. So roughly 2/3 full. So I figured, you know what, that's worth it. And I can do a video and just rip through those and rip those open. The other thing that came in here that this was not part of what I was interested in was this Baseball Underground magazine. I don't know what this is, but it does seem to be more locally based for Massachusetts people. So I don't know if it was like a price guide with some people who could advertise in there, you know, selling their cards and stuff like that. So that is that. There's nothing in there other than just maybe some price guides and articles. But the thing with this one too that I was curious about, like, so I know, like, if you can see, like, there's going to be a lot of damage on these cards, and then most of them are going to be junk. So my expectations are set very low for the rest of the cards in here. But what I am hoping for is that maybe I can come across some of the key error cards that people usually discard, right? And then mainly the 91 tops, when you have the Mark Whitten, you know, hands outside the, look at this Obi McDowell all banged up. This one too. So a lot of these ones I'll probably just end up throwing out because they're just such in bad shape. Not really much I can do with it. But you get the Mark Whitten kind of like hands outside the borders there. And here's Cal Daniels. Yeah, so some really tough shaped cards. Hey, Jose Uribe. All right. $1 million card right there. Well, now it's only $250,000 because it's a little banged up. But yeah, I think I'm gonna make this pile right here. That's gonna go in the old fire pit. Yeah, anything that fits that. Billy Hatcher staring off into the distance, contemplating life. But as you can see, it's just midnight, late 80s, early 90s cards. You get Ellis Burks. Right, certainly, I think someone just had a bunch of these, just threw them into the bin here and said, I'll make it look like it's fun and exciting and somebody will buy it. I probably could have bought it for like 15 or 10 bucks, but figured you get this box of sealed stuff. That's really what I'm looking for. I'm not looking towards anything else here. You get a Bernie Kosar card. Look at that dude. He looks like Bobby Boucher. All right. Greg Jeffries. Oh, that one's all banged up too. Rob Dibble. Future Stars. Charlie Hayes. You get the West Chamberlain card too. That one has the wrong picture of it. Sorry about that. Had to pause it. We had some people coming over here. So continuing to go through this, grabbing just stacks of cards. So it's going to be like a few thousand cards here. But so far, no big names. Bunch of commons. That one's all jacked up too. Here's Doug Drabek, 1990 tops, not the 91 tops that I would be looking for. I did see there was some wrestling cards in here somewhere. So, going to have to look for those. Yeah, ultimately, I'm just going to be throwing out a lot of these cards. Certainly not worth Kentakube. Well, the condition is pretty poor. It's not so bad. And I'll be doing Society a favor. Terry Kirby, Star Dolphins. I don't think so. I'll be doing Society a favor by taking these out of circulation. There's Bobby Bonilla. I do put player lots of him together, but again, that card is so dinged up. Jamie Moore, that one's not so bad. Todd Zeal, that would have been a fun card back in the day. But hey, Rafael Palmeiro, he's another one I put player lots together for, but that one is a little dinged up. John Olerud, hey, probably the this is rookie card. That's probably the best shaped one. Little tipped corners and everything else, but and then Ron Darling. Actually, the Ron Darling card isn't so bad. Listening to him announce the baseball playoff games, and that's I don't particularly care for his announcing. Oh, here's Greg Maddux, and a little dinged up. Not too shabby. Record breaker Ryan Sandberg. That's decent enough. I can put that aside for a player lot. So getting some names. Ooh, Andres Galarraga. That one's in good shape too. So we'll keep that one for the player lot. So a couple cards right now for the player lots. A lot of cards for the garbage. Here we go. We got somebody else here. Dante Bichette coming up. And that one looks halfway decent. All right, so we're able to keep that one. That one we'll just keep aside. That's just going to be a pile of commons, I think. Harold Reynolds, for the most part. That one's in good shape. So there are some good shape cards here. You know, it's not like they're all bad, but the majority will be bad. This one has a nice big crease down the middle. This one too. Mike Flowers. Put that for the Yankee album there. And Darrell Evans. So actually, you know what? It's not that bad. I'll put that aside. But man, this is definitely a bunch of junk. We got Paul Gibson, slightly tipped corner. Ruben Sierra, all-star card, tipped up. I usually put player lots of him together too. Eddie Murray, you gotta have Eddie Murray, but that corner's all chewed up. Would have been good to keep that otherwise. That one's all banged up. Banged up. George Frazier. Mark Grant. George Bell. That one's all dinged up too. Willie Wilson. Oh, here's the Dante Bichette. Not quite. All right, I guess part 3. Someone called my phone and shut the video off, so. All right, so still going through these cards. There's a John Smoltz. And Mike Sims there. But, ooh, Jim Leland. Pretty banged up there. That was all right. Who's this one? Daryl Talley. Yeah, he was a pretty good football player back in the day. Tom Lampkin, that one's all dinged up. Dave Righetti with a price sticker on him. That's fine, that one's really banged up. And Andre, I don't know who, Lamakin, I don't know who you are. You're going in there. Boy, yeah, I got like a few thousand cards here to go through. So this one's going to be a relatively long video. Delano DeShields. There you got Dennis Eckersley. Oh, Don Mattingly. That's good enough to save. All right. Jesse Barfield. That's in good enough condition. Danny Tarnable. What was his name? Danilino? I didn't know that was his. I just figured it was Danny Tarnable. All right. Pat Tabler. So, yeah, a lot of junk. So ah, yes, Rick Shue through the years. All right, we got Kirby Puckett banged up. Gary Carter, well, yeah, I think that's good enough. To the point of like where it's so banged up, I might be keeping cards that I probably normally wouldn't, but Mark Clear. And I don't know if the video is doing it justice, but like certainly as as I grab and feel the cards, I can feel the bends, I can feel like the potential like water damage of it. I don't know if there's water damage, but it's just some of them just don't feel right, and some of them are very like worn out. So it is kind of funny because some of them like have some tipped corners, I think, just from being in this bin, obviously, but some certainly were worn out way before they got thrown into this bin. So probably just somebody putting together a whole pile of junk commons. And oh, we got a note here. What's the note? Seems to be some sort of drawing of like a tree, maybe like a Ninja Turtle on a on a trampoline. I'm not so sure what that is, but still looking for. Here's Kirk Gibson. Still have that. Look at that face. Still looking for a potential error. So a lot of good 91s to look out for here. Here's a Larry Walker rookie card, but look at that corner all ripped up. Now, I don't know if you guys have done... yeah, it's good enough to go there. I don't know if you guys have done the Kurtz card, or seen the Kurtz card thing, where he basically takes like cards, not like these, but obviously better cards, and is able to kind of take out the creases and stuff like that. He's got like some sort of elixir or something that is able to take creases out and things. I don't know if necessarily you can fix like dings. That's good enough. I'll keep that. But it certainly is one of those things that as you see it, you're like, you really do want to kind of try it out and see if there's anything to it. At least I do, right? I'm not saying it would work, but I certainly would be very interested in it. If I had like maybe a vintage card that I knew I could do it, or maybe take a crease out of it. But the problem is like I would have to feel very secure in what the hell, in how I do it. Now, this is weird. Because this is like, it looks like it's cut from the back of a like a box top or something, but this is cut so well. Like there's no wavy lines. Like if this is hand cut, that is very well hand cut, but I wonder if it's just missing a back. That one's going to the side. That one's interesting. All right, we'll see what that is. I don't know. That definitely came from something. Like it was I don't think it was I wouldn't conclude that it's an error of some sort or a blank back card, but it certainly it's just as well cut. But I think if it was a blank back card, it should be red. I don't know. Here's Dave Winfield all kind of junked up. But that's kind of the fun of like buying stuff like this. Like you come across cards like those where, it's just, I don't know, a little interesting. It definitely piques my interest. I don't know what it is. I haven't seen a card like that before. So I certainly I do want to check that out and see what's going on with it. But there's some junk football. Maybe I could put those aside. Baloney. All right, so still going through this and not seeing much. Again, aiming for the... see, I thought that had something a little more interesting there, but I did not. Here's a Juan Gonzalez card, normal one. Got one of those fancy blank back ones. Yeah. What would be awesome if we get a blacklist Frank Thomas one? But the problem is, if you get a blacklist Frank Thomas one, then you're more than likely it's going to be really low grade. See, then you get this like Nolan Ryan beat up one. Mark Grace rookie card. That corner's not so bad. It's comparatively speaking, it's not horrible, but it's also not great. So Jeffrey Hammond's USA. This must be traded. Yeah. This one. Barry Jones. And Baba Hoda, David Wells. I don't know why, but I have not put David Wells aside for player lots. I do like him. I mean, again, as a Yankee fan, he did great for the Yankees, and he was a good pitcher throughout his career. You know, kind of one of these guys that he was definitely a fan favorite. You know, he seemed like a sort of a normal, everyday guy, and self-admittedly showing up drunk, saying he was hungover when he pitched the perfect game, all that stuff. So who knows? Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but I wouldn't have put it by him, that's for sure. He seems plenty capable of being able to do something like that. All right. Here's another Craig Biggio card. So I'm getting a few nice ones. Here's a John Morris card, or Jack Morris. See, this one's the error. It has the line going through the J, but it's all banged up. So let's see, Wilson Alvarez, Charlie Hayes, Dave Parker. I actually have one player a lot of him. Is this a traded? Oh, I was gonna say I don't really remember this card. So there's a traded card. Carl Willis. All right. So at some point, I think we will be getting, I have a feeling we'll be coming across Doug Drabek or Chris Hoyles or, who's the other guy? Who's the guy with the hands? I forget who. But Mark Whitten. At some point, this 89 superstars. All right, so Mickey Tellington, like this. Oh, this is stuck. These are stuck together. Well, doesn't matter. Yeah, those will be forever stuck together. Willie Wilson. There were some other blacklist era cards too with the 1990s tops. But obviously more like just with missing like black borders and stuff like that. Oh, here's Randy Johnson. Oh, just a little tipped. And some creases there. And now I just didn't help that. I don't know. That's borderline. That is borderline, but I'll throw it in there. On Allen Hill. It's very close to keeping, but I don't know. It's a tough one. Here we got Padres card there. All right, let's throw that there. Carlton Fisk. Ooh, that one's actually pretty decent. I got to play a lot of him going. Matt Young. That's not. We'll do it. Fisk. Tewksbury. There's Ryan Sandberg. That one's fairly decent. Jim Leland, that's a good one. Dalton, Mike Blowers, Jerry Brown. He has a error card, I think, with the 89 Fleer, which it's not Jerry Brown. And the person who is in the picture is clearly, should have never been mistaken for Jerry Brown. But in any case, all right, here we go. Keep going through this. More Kevin Sicer. Lou Whitaker, there you go, Hall of Famer. Roberto Alomar. So, not horrible as far as, you know, it's not just all commons, which is nice, but at the same time, too, expectations were very, very low. The condition of these cards. Actually, the condition of the cards are getting better the further I'm going into it, so it seems like maybe the ones in the middle were probably a little bit more protected than the ones on the edges, but certainly still some dinged up cards in there. Wade Taylor being very faded. Oh, Gerald Perry, another Kirk Gibson card there. That one's solid. All right. Hey, Ozzie Smith. It's like I said, I could feel it. I mean, so you look at that one, it's not so bad, but probably on camera, but I can just feel like it's so worn out. It's kind of wavy. This one's pretty good. But man, so many to go through. I don't know how long this video is gonna be, but Super Siblings. Oh yeah, there you go. Pat Borders. He has an error card in this one. Stolen bases 40. Yep, that's the error card right there. So obviously you could tell he's a catcher. He's never had 40 stolen bases before. So there's the error. So you know what? Put that aside for 1 second. It's not in great shape, but put that aside, because if I'm getting the error for that, there's a good chance I could be getting the error for the other ones if I come across them. But see, these were the ones on the edge, so these ones were really, really rough shape. And again, it's not like I buy this to say, all right, I can get an error card and make $1 million. No, I buy it because it might have the error card in there, and that's kind of half the fun of going through these cards like these, because otherwise, you know, there's really no point in I hate to say it, but there really isn't any point in the junk wax card, right? I mean, other than collecting your favorite players or getting autographs. But if you collected these cards, right, you've seen these cards a million times. So it's always kind of fun to have different variations that you might be chasing, or you know, and I know too, I think, again, Wax Packs has always gone through and done the, you know, with the 91 tops, right? You get the different variations of the 40 and the printing there. Some are darker, some are, you know, less. So again, it just gives you something to chase, something a little bit more to go after, other than just being, you know, straight up buying cards and just looking at them and trying to get a certain player, or trying to think you're going to get some certain value out of it. But so I mean, I get it out there. Like, you see a lot of comments about, you know, people who comment on the error cards and, like, you know, saying, you know, they're worthless and they're not worth anything different. And you're right, they're not really worth all that much. But again, if there's different variations out there, you know, if they printed it one way and then changed it and made it another way, then it's kind of fun to go out there and do. I do think like you get a little bit too nitpicky when you have to like look at there's no dot at the end of ink or something like that, or the trademark might be a little off. But certainly, again, if you can collect one variation of it and there's another variation out there that the company printed, then yeah, you have those two variations. That's something that somebody can chase. So I won't collect that, but certainly there are people out there that do try to put it together. And then, you know, if you're on the, this dude is like the shadiest looking. Right, sorry, I just got distracted by that. There's Greg Vaughn, rookie. George Brett, all right, that one's decent. Got 2 George Bretts now. But I certainly won't sell anything on eBay or any other platform that's like a rookie card that's error card that's I'm gonna sell it for like $1 million, right? I mean, if there's, you know, like you take the Ken Griffey Jr. 1990 Topps card, for example. That one, there's variations of it, and there's been variations that sold for a good amount. So like that instance might be different, but certainly like the Jose Uribe, right? If you're going out there and paying big bucks for a Jose Uribe era, that's more on you than it is on the seller. All right, I have a big pile of cards that I'm just going to toss out. And this one is going right into that pile. It'll be nice. The weather's getting cooler. It'll be good to throw that in the fire pit. Keep me warm. All right, coming up on 20 minutes already. So, man, here we go. This was one of the things I was looking for, but I thought there would be more. But Ultimate Warrior, right? This is a 1990 classic. Just watched the documentary on Vince McMahon. That is, I think that's on Netflix. So if you guys haven't watched that one is interesting. So certainly was a fun few episodes to watch about that and seeing how he created things. Not necessarily, it didn't end very well for him, but you know, for most of them it usually doesn't. But it was still kind of funny to see how he built his business. All right. Still not getting any errors. Here's Vladimir Vucek. I don't know. That's probably as close as I'm going to say his name. Dave Parker. Again, got some player luck going for him. All right, well, this is going to be a long one, so stick with me, and we will get through this stuff. Devin White, but I'm about halfway through that bin right now, and maybe I'll pause it, make this a 2-parter. Should I do that? I don't know. Save $1 off of these caps. Does anybody want that? Suggested retail value $20, but only $8.99. Oh man, all you gotta do is buy some Tony's Pizzas. Not too shabby. Harold Baines. I gotta play a lot of going for him begrudgingly. All right. Sid Bream. Okay. All right. So what I will do is, oh well, all the cards just fell over. So what I will do is that's probably a good, I'll just let them continue to fall. They're damaged cards anyway, so. What I will do here is go through this last piece and then we'll pause the video and then we'll break this out into 2 parts because there are just so many cards to go through. All right. Stay with me. Part 2 coming up tomorrow.